Welcome to EFT Nation, your home for all things tapping. For show notes and resources, please visit EFTtappingtraining.com. We are your tapping hosts. I'm Alina Frank.
And I'm Craig Wiener. The information provided in this podcast is not a substitute for counseling or medical advice. The information presented here is meant to inspire and educate listeners, but are not guarantees of any kind.
How'd you sleep last night?
I slept just fine.
Actually,
actually, that's funny. That's such an automatic response because I normally sleep incredibly well.
you can sleep. You're like one of those people that I admire so much because you can sleep anywhere, anytime, fall asleep on a train, plane, automobile, no problem.
Yep.
And last night you had a little challenge.
I did. I'm not one of those 70 million people, according to the CDC, that have chronic recurring sleep problems.
Americans, yeah.
Americans. But last night, let's just say there was somebody in my bed that was snoring and just couldn't seem to manage to stop. And so at about 12:45 and then at about 5:15 this morning, I was awakened and even the earplugs didn't seem to quell the problem. So,
and that's usually the other way around, where you're waking me up with your snoring.
Yep.
And our snoring seems to be connected to, drinking. Like if we have
we had some, yeah. So I mean, we went out on a rare occasion last night and went out for dinner.
Yeah.
And had a glass or two of wine, and and that seems to maybe loosen up certain tissues in the breathing, nasopharynx area, and snoring happens and makes it hard for the partner to get a good night's sleep. Exactly.
But if you are like one of those 70 million Americans that struggle with sleep, that cycle, because I know I've been there, the cycle of trying to figure out what led to you not being able to sleep well the night before is crazy making. So it's interesting. I wrote an article many years ago about, like, lots of people are on a spectrum. So you could be a lark, which is someone that has no problem, falls asleep as soon as the sun goes down. You can sleep. No problem at all. You could be a night owl, which means that your circadian rhythms are completely off, and you sleep better during the day. You could sleep 6, 7, 8 hours and be fine. You could go to sleep and get to bed and sleep right away and then wake up many times during the night and not be able to go back to sleep. Or you can have trouble falling asleep. So there are a lot of different ways that this can affect you. But if you're part of the group that has struggled with this or has struggled with it or struggling with it now,
it really has significant implications, right?
Huge.
On your energy level, your ability to focus. Health issues is a huge one if we don't get enough sleep and rest and, certain amount of brainwave time that's at a certain level that we need. Then the implications for being well, feeling well, being happy in a relationship, being focused, and ability to be able to learn and be at your best are significantly inhibited.
And you have lots of media telling you about this, and you have all kinds of articles telling you about this problem. So that can actually compound the problem. So what I mean, Craig's like looking at it like, what? So what I mean is the stress of you tracking all of these things. So again, I'll go back to what I was saying. If you're part of this group that has had problems, you could probably go on your bookshelf and you can find a number of books. You can go to where you have your vitamins and your supplements, and you can pull out probably a whole bag. You can have a whole basket full of gadgets, creams, lotions, different masks, different electrical equipment. I mean, the list can go on and on of things you have tried.
For sleep aids.
And we're asking you to try tapping.
Okay. So let's talk about how you can use EFT tapping for challenges with sleep. I mean, you may not have a diagnosis of insomnia, but you have a hard time getting to sleep, falling asleep, getting long enough sleep, non-interrupted sleep, all of those things. And there are so many reasons. So I just want to say, please,
absolutely,
this might be something that you really need to speak with your doctor about.
For sure.
There may be, bladder issues, there are prostate issues, and there might be sleep apnea issues, and so there's a whole host of reasons, also medication related issues and side effects that may affect your sleep. So if this is an ongoing problem, please speak with whoever your medical professional or your healthcare professional is about concerns you have about this.
Right.
What we're really looking at are what we say are the emotional contributing factors to problems with sleeping.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, what are we suggesting? Number one is the tapping on the fear of not getting to sleep, if that's your pattern, or the fear that you'll wake up in the night, if that's your pattern. Or the biggest one that I used to see all the time with clients was the fear, if I don't sleep well tonight, what is going to happen tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. A fear that you're never going to get over it because you've tried everything already. So we always talk about specificity, and these are, we're speaking about what you're tapping on. The ones we just mentioned on are what we call future events, like tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get to sleep. I know it because I had that second cup of coffee.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
I had that glass of wine. I had that, fill in the blank, whatever reason you give that validates the fear or the worry or the concern about tonight. Or, I have to get up and be up for bright-eyed for an interview.
Yeah.
And I know that that's going to keep me awake thinking about it. Or so many things happened today that I know that's how it's going to affect me tonight. So setting up your EFT statement of, even though I'm feeling this worry that it's going to take me 4 hours to fall asleep tonight and then I won't be fresh in the morning for the meeting, I still deeply and completely accept myself. I don't believe in scripts. It's whatever it is for you that is your worry, your fear, your concern, your anxiety about whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Getting used to doing that each time you notice the concern before you go to bed. You're already thinking about it after dinner.
Right. I was going to say, for some people, EFT can be energizing and can bring, you a lot of energy in your body and make you feel more awake, alert. And for other people, it's just the opposite. They feel more relaxed. So
they start yawning and just settling down, that kind of cortisol level drop.
So you're going to need to know that before you decide what time you're going to tap. So if you're in the category of people that if it makes you feel more relaxed, absolutely do it before bed. But if you are the ones where you feel more energized with tapping, then consider doing it way before you ever get to bed.
So that first section that we were just talking about are really future-focused tapping. I'm worried about tonight when I go to bed, this will happen or this won't happen.
Yeah.
Right? But then kind of section 2 is we can take that time, let's say somewhere between dinner and bedtime, whatever works for you as far as energy level that Alina just referred to, is starting to look at what were the sources of stress during my day that are often likely to percolate when we put our head down and start reflecting on the day and the things that bothered me about what happened today. This is a next layer of tapping on the things that happened today.
And you could even tap on, even though I don't know what's stressing me out about my day, what is going to wake me up in the middle of the night stressing me out? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I deeply, completely accept myself as a way to get your subconscious, which is what's waking you up at night, and telling you, okay, no, you know what? This is about your girlfriend, that problem that you've been having, and the only way I'm going to get your attention is to wake you up at night so you can think about it.
Yeah. Or you do know. In other words, you take that moment to be still and scan your day before you put your head on the pillow.
Sure.
And it's like, for me, it's kind of like erasing the blackboard of the stressful things of the day before I move into my evening sleep and into the next day.
Right.
That thing that, I moved beyond, I paid my tax bill today, I paid my rent, and it's going to be tough tomorrow. Whatever those things are that happened today that stress me out, that I can tap on my anger, my fear, my concern, my worry, my stress, whatever it is about those things that happened during the day, so I can start to enter my getting ready for bedtime and into sleep much more clear than had I not done that, so they're not as likely to bubble up.
Right. And be specific.
Yes.
So we're talking basic EFT. on the things that stress you out.
So we've talked about tapping on kind of the future, what'll happen tonight things. Mm-hmm. We've talked about what happened during the day things. I also want to mention...
and also I think it would... So another way to look at it is that there might be something that started it. So like, what was the trigger for this pattern of insomnia? That's
what I was just going to get to. It's like, okay, so beyond just what happened this day,
right?
I'm kind of starting to take a bigger step on, okay, this bigger problem.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It happened after I lost something, my work, a loved one, something happened that started this pattern.
Right.
Or it was when I started to have, when we got the puppy, when my, kids start going through colic, when I start, whatever the problem is, I start to look at the patterns and the underlying contributing issues to this overall bigger problem. And again, the triggers that bring those up.
And if you think of it, tap on it. So if it comes to your mind, don't automatically dismiss it. Oh, well, that's really resolved. That's over with. Because there might still be some emotional, real stressor that's there that you could be activating just by like seeing a picture or hearing a noise or hearing from someone. It might have some unconscious trigger. So if you thought of it, tap on it. Because many times, for me, it'll be that I need to start tapping before I really tap into how I feel.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. And it's funny because it amazes me sometimes, and you'll go, no, I don't know what's bothering me. And I'm like, well, I definitely have some thoughts what I think might be bothering you. But what happens about you so beautifully, whether you're tapping on your own or I'm tapping with you, is it's really not till you start tapping that whatever project stress, financial stress, underlying something that's been coming up that you've kind of been putting to the side.
Yeah.
And don't even realize how much that's getting under your skin.
And I don't know
until
if
you
it's
start tapping.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's for like tapping for almost 2 decades or it is the way that I process emotions now that I need to start off by doing some tapping to really kind of tap into what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. And as you start making progress,
yeah,
there's a whole nother wave that starts happening. It's like, oh, well, that just worked for that issue. Or this is getting better now. Is it really going to hold?
Right.
Is it really going to stay, or is it going to come back the next time?
Right.
So we start to have some of the what we call the fear of the fears.
Or the belief systems, limiting belief systems underneath.
This can't really work.
This can't really work.
Right, because I know that I have a whatever physiological issue.
Right, and I've tried all these other ways. So, yeah, absolutely.
Now, we have to say, are there other complementary things to also support healthy sleep?
Yeah.
Sure, but it's an individualized process. But sleep hygiene, may include darkening the room more.
Right.
More than people realize, whether it's an eye mask or blackout shades, etc.
Or blue filter.
Mm-hmm. Before for
glasses
that
for the filter effect. The screens.
Mm-hmm. How much before bed are you on screens?
Right.
Right. Or watching news or things that might be upsetting.
Right.
Caffeine use, certainly. How many hours before?
Alcohol.
Alcohol use before might be affecting you. Dietary. Certainly, partners activity, dogs in the bed, there's so many other things that you need to start taking seriously that can help as well. We're not here to be the sleep experts. We are here to really say that there are other things that you really want to take into consideration with regard to good sleep hygiene.
But I know plenty of people that have actually, so aside from like being awake and tapping, mm-hmm. And verbalizing, right? If you are next to someone who you don't want to wake up, you could actually just rub the points mm-hmm. and think in your mind without saying them aloud, like or whispering.
Visualize the points.
So I meant like verbalizing the statements.
Oh, not saying it out loud and saying it to yourself.
Not saying it out loud.
Okay.
Yeah. You could do that or whisper them.
Okay.
You could rub the points, like Craig said. You can visualize tapping on the points.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go back and listen to our podcast that we did on surrogate tapping. I know people that have successfully done surrogate tapping for their partner that's snoring and their partner stops snoring. So next time I'm snoring, I give you full permission to do surrogate tapping on me.
Okay.
See if that works.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So the things that you know will benefit you that you're not doing, but let's say you know that you are having more alcohol than usual, and that could be it. So your habit can be kicked by doing EFT on, even though I really don't want to let go of this glass of wine. I really don't want to stop drinking every night. I really don't want to.
Or the caffeine. Or
Right.
I'm really hooked on,
My
90-Day
video.
Fiancé or whatever the current Netflix theme of the week is that you're just used to a pattern of watching
Yes.
until you drift off, but then you get to bed and you're lying there awake.
Exactly.
Or watching the news or, or checking your,
Yep.
social media thread before bed. So using tapping to be able to break those habits and empower you to have better sleep hygiene habits is really useful as well.
Absolutely.
Hope that helps. Hope it gave you some great ideas. And have a great day and a great night. Thanks for joining us today at EFT Nation. And remember that you can find show notes and previous episodes at EFTtappingtraining.com.